Hey y'all, Dr. V here. Today we're going to talk about these 6 forms of non-listening. So these are things that you want to avoid if you want to better your interpersonal relationships. The first one is pseudo-listening or pretending to listen. It's not going to make anybody happy if you're sitting there while they're talking to you and you're scrolling through your phone or you're just kind of nodding in agreement, but you're not actually listening to what they're saying. The second type you want to avoid is monopolizing. Have you ever been telling someone a story and then their response is to immediately turn it back around on themselves? Or you just feel like they really love to hear themselves talk, but they don't actually listen to you? Yeah, don't be that person. The third type you want to avoid is selective listening. Selective listening is when we are literally only listening to the tiny bit that matters to us. So if someone's telling us a story and then they immediately end it with, anyway, yeah, so I'm hungry, and then we perk up because we're like, yeah, I could go for pizza. That's selective listening, only hearing what you want to hear. 4, ambushing. Don't listen to someone's story with the intent to save that information later to use it against them. This is something that you should avoid, okay? It's mean, it's bad, you don't want to do it. You should also avoid defensive listening. Defensive listening is when you're essentially attacking the other person when it's not their fault. So let's say someone says to you, wow, you look really nice today. And your response is, so do I not look nice every other day? That's defensive listening. They weren't trying to be mean. You shouldn't be either. And the last one, number 6, is literal listening. We want to avoid listening to only the content and not the relational level of meaning. An example of literal listening is, let's say you're running late to work because your kid was up all night and they were really sick, and you tell your boss, and your boss responds with, well, you shouldn't have been late. That's literal listening. They don't care about the fact your kid was sick. All they care is that you weren't there on time. You want to make sure you're listening to both relational and content levels of messages, especially if you're somebody's boss. Well, that concludes my list of what not to do today to better your interpersonal relationships. Hopefully, you can avoid these 6 forms of non-listening behaviors. As always, if you have any questions about these or other concepts, please don't hesitate to let me know.